tribals. I think he's one of the professor now in JNU from Dalit community is very senior. I think I welcome to Srinvaskar. I sorry to say him and some communication is there. Otherwise, it would be early. We have to start from my side, and I we uh, some mistake to miscommunication. Then thank you very much and apologize to these inconvenience to Srinivas and other people also. Thank you very much. Welcome to Srinivas.
Good evening, Jai Bhim, one and all. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Yeah. In fact, it is very good idea and very good platform to bring all our people. And in fact, I've been observing or participating in this program for the last so many lectures. But it is really good idea. When I was interacting with Lakshmaya ji told me that this is idea where we have completed 75 years. So we wanted to, organize the lecture on Indian Constitution, 75 years of independence on various issues. In fact, I would like to appreciate the organizers for the idea, and also you people are bringing different aspects into the forum. Try to discuss, try to deliberate all these things. In fact, in one of the lectures, I was moderator. I was moderating one session on economic issues and so on. So this is actually very important initiative, and the two particularly CDS Jaisa organization has been taking uh, greater care and greater extent of these issues. That's thank you so much for inviting me for this lecture. Thank you so much, sir, Lakshmaya sir, and all other dignitaries in the lecture who have been participating in this online lecture. I was asked to talk about the Indian Constitution and economic justice. In what I very recently I've been asked, I was asked to speak about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as an economist. I spoke various issues, various aspects on economics, like he is the important person who conceptualized the Reserve Bank of India, and he, in his PhD thesis, he spoke about problem of the rupee, where the gold exchange standard and all these things. He spoke about again the taxation, again canons of expenditure, canons of public revenue, all these things I spoke about. But today, what we try to discuss, how Indian Constitution tries or address the economic justice. Let us discuss in a different way. First, uh, see, the idea of Indian Constitution is the social and economic transformation. See, thing is that when we go back to our constitutional values and constitutional this thing, we need to understand one thing: there is a need for economic transformation. The economic transformation is very crucial, and economic justice is one of its core values. Core values, and also we need to understand one thing. When we bring in economic justice, it ensures that every citizen has equal access to economic opportunities. See, that is the idea of discussing today's lecture. So when people get economic justice, that economic justice aims at removing inequalities in wealth, providing opportunities, and creating better living conditions. That is the idea of a constitution and Baba Sahib view. And also, so what in Indian constitution, what directive principles of state policy and other, what is the core difference between fundamental rights and DPSP, all these things we know very well. I need not to explain. Like DPSP particularly, it is not enforceable by law, but it is fundamental to the government governance to the country, and it tries to promote equal pay for equal work as per Article 39, a right to adequate means of livelihood, distribution of material resources to subserve common goals, prevention of concentration of wealth. Actually, these are very crucial for the economic equality or social justice and all these things. So, equal pay for equal work. If you go back, Baba Saheb in his starting arguments that no, women need to get equal ways and equal work in equal ways. Also, right to adequate means of livelihood opportunities. See, the caste is one of the hindrance for the adequate means of livelihood. Then distribution of material resources to subserve common goals, prevention of concentration of wealth, prevention of concentration of wealth. These are the things. Yeah. So if I think as per 14 to 18 articles, right to equality articles, no discrimination in employment, access to public resources. Article 1922 says that right to freedom includes right to work anywhere, right against exploitation. Article 2024, all these things we know. So what actually we needed for this economic equality and in the light of constitution? One is land reforms, reservation policies, minimum wage laws, employment guarantee schemes like NREG and all, Food Security Act. Okay. See, if we discuss one by one in a detailed way, land reforms, how the land reforms try to give a kind of solution for economic inequality. If you see, or if you see the agriculture census data, uh, mm, 42 to 58% of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe people do not have minimum land holdings. Average size of land holding is 1.32 hectares. They do not have minimum land holdings. That's why there's a need for land reforms. When there is a land reforms, automatically this would address the issue of landlessness among marginalized sections. Then reservation policies and all we know very well. Then the minimum wage laws, what Baba Saheb thought about Employment Guarantees Act, Food Security Act, and so on. What Baba Saheb tried to spoke about, what Baba Saheb advocated for. One is state socialism. Actually, we all tried to discuss about, Baba Saheb tried to discuss about this socialism and also
Vama, itra.
state socialism, and also how the various sectors, various aspects like agriculture, industry, all these things, how these are trying to provide better livelihood. That is state socialism, redistribution, labor rights, and minimum wages. These three are core and important aspects of Baba Saheb idea, what he tried to discuss. Like, about in land redistribution or land reforms, he tried to bring about, abolition of jamindari system, redistribution of surplus land to landless labor, and then Minimum Wage Act, that is 1948 Minimum Wage Act. Even NREGA guarantees 100 days rural employment annually. All these things are there. That's what we have seen in the light of idea of these things. So, but what Baba Saheb thought about all these things, like, what is his idea, how we need to bring in.
हेलो हेलो
जी सर, आपकी आवाज आ रही है परंतु इनकी नहीं आ रही है अभी आवाज।
रवि रवि
ఆయన మూట్లోకి వెళ్ళారు సార్ ఏదో ఎగ్జిట్ అయిపోతున్నాడు.
Net problem may be there.
the power problem is coming back, sir. Please hold on. Power cut हो गया. He is coming back.
కానీ మర్చిపోయి నేను కాఫీ పౌడర్ వేసిన ల్యాప్టాప్
రవి శ్రీనివాస్ అడ్మిట్ చేయండి శ్రీ.
మా దగ్గర ఏం చూపించట్లేదు సార్.
ఇక్కడ నాకు చూపెడుతుంది అడ్మిట్ అని.
మీరు కూడా
వచ్చిండా?
చూపించాము, నాకు కనపడలేదు ఇక్కడ. చూపించండి. ఓకే ఓకే.
Srinivas garu.
I'm sorry, actually, there is a problem in my house. I have asked to do some AC repairing works. So every time there's a problem in power dripping and all. I
Okay.
have
No problem. Thank you.
do this. Anyway, I'm extremely sorry, sir. Yeah. Let me share my screen. I'm sorry. Yeah. So is it my screen?
Yes, is clear, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
It's clear.
So Baba Saheb Ambedkar played a key role in bringing economic justice in the preamble of Indian Constitution. We all know very well that it is just social, economic, and political. It reflects his commitment to create a more equitable society. What he believed that political democracy without economic and social democracy would be incomplete and potentially unstable. That's what he believed. So what he thought, what he tries to bring in, one of his economic thoughts are he's very much critic of capitalism. If you try to understand, some of the thinkers believe, or some of the thinkers do think that there's a class. Even I would like to give you a classic example. When we joined in Hyderabad Central University in the year 1992, at the time of our admission in Hyderabad Central University, there is an organization called Progressive Students Forum, in which they believe that there is a need for class. But after we join, what we tries to, argue that there's a need for caste, not class. That's what Baba Saheb is very much critic about all these ideas. So then we have initiated ASA, Ambedkar Students Association, in the latter days. That's the idea actually. But so if you see, he tries to criticize capitalism and Brahminical hierarchy. Ambedkar saw how capitalism and caste work together to exclude lower castes from economic opportunities. For example, why Baba Saheb tried to think about state socialism. If you bring capitalism in, say, for example, agriculture, what is happening? The technology, and with the introduction of technology, only big farmers can be benefited. Like green revolution is one of the best examples. During green revolution, who have benefited? Only big farmers benefited, and some of the states benefited. Likewise, if you see the capitalism always exclude the caste. And also it in economic opportunities, the Dalits who do not have major land holdings and who do not have major credit facilities, they are excluded from the opportunities. That's what Baba Saheb tried to discuss. And he was very critical with regard to both unregulated capitalism and traditional caste-based system of production and labor. That's where Baba Saheb tries to discuss, or is very much critic about capitalism and Brahminical hierarchy. Also, he tried to support state socialism. That is what we can call it as a planned economy. Like, in 1940s, Baba Saheb proposed a form of state socialism in his famous work, States and Minorities, where it includes nationalization of key industries. Like in the recent times, what we are looking at these days, after 75 years of independence, we are witnessing the PPP model, public-private partnership model. But when we were students during 90s and late 90s, what our teachers do teach that there is a need for strong public sector, or the share of public sector would be very strong. They never talk about corruption, they never talk about red tapeism and so on. They always tries to speak or tries to advocate for a strong public sector. That's what Baba Saheb argue. There's a need for nationalization of key industries like agriculture and insurance. Why he tries to think about nationalization of key industries? When these key industries taken by the public sector, automatically there would be equal opportunities to the marginalized sections, so that these marginalized sections can get a better and critical better opportunities. Amit Thorat, Professor Sukhdev Thorat's work also clearly speak about this affirmative action and so on with regard to the industries reservations and also on. Another one is public ownership of land with limited private ownership. Public ownership of land with limited private ownership. What Baba Saheb tries to speak about this land ownership. In fact, if we try to understand one thing, that the land distribution is very 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 unequal, and majority of the scheduled castes, scheduled tribes are not been able to have minimum land holdings. And what is happening here, the kind of land holding and landlord communities are always upper caste, and Dalits and scheduled caste, scheduled tribes are not been able to get their share. That's why Baba Saheb tries to speak about the state socialism, when the government should take up the land, the agriculture as an sector, so that it need to allocate to the people based on the rights, then it will redistribute the profits or whatever to the people. That's what Baba Saheb tried to discuss. And another one is centralized economic planning. That's what his idea of economic equality. When we see centralized, when there is a centralized economic planning, we have seen the centralized economic planning and so on. And with regard to land reforms and land right, land ownership as very critical for Dalits emancipation, and also without lands, Dalits were stuck in exploitative caste-based labor. Even now, as per very recent agriculture census, nearly in Dalit communities, SC/ST communities, nearly 42 to 47% of the population Dalits are landless labor. So this is one. Another one is minimum wages, then fair working conditions, labor welfare and labor unions. We know well, gender equality in labor rights. Also, he tries to speak about Ambedkar. We know very well. We all very recently, I was attending April 14, Baba Saheb Ambedkar's birthday. Everyone is speaking about caste practices and all, but very limited people speak about Baba Saheb Ambedkar's role as an economist. He's a trained economist. He is the first Indian who have got awarded PhD in economics from Columbia itself. He is the first Indian who has got a PhD in economics from Columbia University, and on his work. What is his work? His work is on problem of the rupee, and he tried to speak about is arguing for the better, exchange rate rather than gold exchange rate. The standard exchange rate need to be provided so that all others can have better opportunity. He focus more on monetary stability, currency management, protecting poor from inflation and debt traps. Actually, even if we see the kind of inflationary tendencies, to address inflationary tendencies, Baba Saheb at that time only he introduced Dearness Allowance DA scheme at that time only. So he tries to bring all these things as an economist, as a social reformer, and as a political economic thinker. So linking caste and economy, like perhaps his most important economic insight was that economic inequality in India is inseparable from caste. He argued that whatever the economic reforms would bring, unless you caste based exclusion and discrimination were abolished, you cannot bring economic inequalities. You cannot bring economic equalities. So what are the challenges we are posing with regard to these things, like economic inequality, regional imbalances in development, unemployment and underemployment, social exclusion despite the legal safeguards? All are very, very, very crucial to look at. See, we've been discussing 75 years of Indian Constitution. We are celebrating the Constitution and so on. But still there is economic inequalities. That's a big challenge. Regional imbalance in development. Even some of the regions are very backward. And unemployment, underemployment. If you see the agriculture and other areas, there is unemployment, underemployment, social exclusion despite legal safeguards. I will give little bit data with regard to these things before discussing that. See, if you see the kind of in 75 years of independence, how economic equalities and economic inequalities are addressed, number one, and what Baba Saheb dreamt about and what happened in these 75 years. If you see with regard to taxation, the Baba Saheb believed that there's a need for progressive taxation. With the progressive taxation, at least the economic inequalities can be addressed. So with that, what would happen? At least some of the things can be addressed in a proper way. In that context, GST. Very recently in 2017, GST has been introduced in Indian context. GST is trying to streamline the tax system and tries to address the inequalities and so on. But after introducing the GST, World Bank suggested to Indian economy that it is not sufficient to bring in economic equality. It is not sufficient to address economic inequalities. More things are needed for in a better implementation of progressive taxation and so on. So to address economic inequalities, as per OECD countries data, about 25% of income gap has been reduced in OECD countries, very recent data says. So another one is, we have been looking at social welfare schemes, that is PM Jan Dhan Yojana, public distribution system, the DBT and MNRJ, and so on. As per Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, as per the data of Ministry of Rural Development, 30 to 35% of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes are becoming beneficiaries as per MNRJ data. So it says it is contributing to reduce rural poverty, in particularly SC/STs and in rural areas, and also in the education sector. The midday meal scheme has been introduced. With that midday meal scheme, 35 to 40% beneficiaries are from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Why I am trying to give you some data? Because if we bring some data in 75 years of period, what is the data says and all these things. And with regard to health sector, the Prime Minister Jan Arogya Yojana, PM Jan Arogya Yojana, under PM Jan Arogya Yojana, more than 50% beneficiaries are from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. That is the recent data, and in which majority are women from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. And another one is that when we see entrepreneurship, even there's a need for affirmative action, there's a need for more product lines need to be reserved, more product lines need to be given to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. When we understand Mudra scheme, under Mudra scheme, 60 to 70% of beneficiaries are from OBC, SC, and STs in all states. Very recently, we have done a study on Mudra scheme across the country. 60 to 70% of beneficiaries are from SC/ST, OBC, SC/STs. And again, PM Employment Generation Program is there. Under this program, 1.5 lakh beneficiaries from SC/STs. So why I am trying to explain all these things? Because there are so many challenges. Given the challenges, the industry, the agriculture, and the services, these three sectors need to be addressed, where Dalit SC/STs participation and SC/STs role is very minimal. So how to go about it? What to do? We always see, or we always try to see that the kind of vision, the kind of dream by Baba Saheb, that there is a need for state socialism in agriculture, and there's a need for affirmative action. It is a very recent idea, affirmative action in industry, and Baba Saheb's idea is giving key industries giving key and major role to the state in the case of key industries like agriculture and insurance. And again, agriculture, industry, and very recently, we have been witnessing digital services and so on. If you see the digital services and so on, majority of the activities or services are being taken by the digital access and digital services. But in that case, what is the level of participation of SCSTs? If you see, very recently we have done the participation rate of SCSTs in digital transfers or digital services. The participation rate of SCSTs is only 16 to 17% only. So this means there's a lot of issues need to be addressed. So how to go about it? That no, that's to strengthen the welfare programs in a better way. In fact, maybe 30 years back, the welfare programs were different. Now welfare programs are different. There is shift from PDS to DBT, and recently it is changing a different way. Even if you go back the planning era in before 70s, the food for work, or later wage, later DBT. So automatically there is a change in the addressing the welfare programs, change in the conceptualizing the welfare programs. Another one is inclusive and sustainable development. The inclusive development or inclusive growth strategy, very recent aspect. In 11th five-year plan, they have started inclusive growth strategy and sustainable development. This even as per SDG goals, goal number 17 has been speaking about, has been discussing about all these things. But the main point is that how to bring about this inclusive and sustainable development is one of the important aspects to be strengthening or making more way. Another one is implementation of constitutional principles in policy making. We've been discussing about constitutional safeguards, and also we've been discussing about directive principles and fundamental rights, all these things, but how it is being implemented. Very recently, if you see SST POA, how it is changing. Earlier it was non-bailable, now it has become bailable, and people are getting bail. All these things, there is a change. So better we need to go in implementation of constitutional principles, need to be bring in a different way. And also another one is empowering marginalized communities. See, we have been discussing, or we have been debating empower the marginalized communities in a systematic way, but the kind of, in 75 years of independent India, we have seen several initiatives have been taken place, like Skill India, Stand Up India, and there are so many things we have seen. But how these are empowering the marginalized is the biggest question. How to see, how to bring in all these things we need to address. So for this, there's a need for a continuous effort and continuous advocacy for to bring all these economic equality, and there's a need for policy reforms. If you see, as an economist, what we think, in 1991 LPG era has started, and policy and programs have been started. Those are clearly or in a subtle way tries to bring private players into picture. In 1991 economic policy or LPG era, whatever, slowly disinvestment and weakening the public sector, bringing private sector into the picture, and slowly bringing technology in agriculture sector, by bringing technology in agriculture sector slowly, who are labor, who are landless labor, marginalized for marginal farmers, all these are becoming landless labor, and also they are not been able to adopt technology. They are not been able to reach the technology. All these things are there. So the in 91 itself has started a kind of breach. Even say several Dalit outfits have been worked on impact of globalization on Dalits, impact of globalization on entrepreneurship, impact of globalization on agriculture, impact of globalization of Dalits education, and so on. These are all economic inequalities to address. These are the policy reforms. At least there's a need for policy to bring in to address the our issues, be it education sector, be it health sector, be it land issues, and so on. Then only the economic inequality can be possible, and also public participation. Actually, what I believe, even Baba Saheb believed that there's a need for strong public sector, so that the kind of issues or the kind of economic equality can be addressed. Let me stop here. In fact, I I I was not aware of the lecture. That's why I couldn't. I was occupied with some other thing. That's why I was not able to do justice for the lecture. Maybe since you people have decided and organized, I had to give. Let's hope. Even I've been working on MSME sector. I've been working on health issues and so on. So in the next days to come, I can give you Dalit entrepreneurship in a separate lecture, so that it will be more workable. That's what I think. Once again, I'm sorry, and I thank you very much for the opportunity given by CDS, and thank you, Lakshmaya sir. Actually, because of Lakshmaya sir, डर के वजह से I said yes. Otherwise, I would have said no. Because
Sorry,
no,
Srinivas,
no
you did
disrespect
it.
on Lakshmaya sir.
You
Because
did a more than justice, sir. You did a more than justice. You presented
actually,
within.
Lakshmaya sir means like we are all we love and we admire him a lot, because the kind of work he has been taking place, marvelous. That's why I couldn't say anything, sir. I'm sorry, and
No,
let's
no, no.
take up some questions. Yeah.
Srinivas garu, you did a wonderful job. Within 1 hour, I think this is the breaking any organizing lecture. Within 1 hour, you presented with all those what is the content and the PPT. It's not a small thing.
Sir,
I
sir.
think thank you very much. Thank you very much to accept our request. And I request Vinod ji, please coordinate the thing. Vinod ji, Vinod ji. Sir, anyway, please, any questions, ask this Srinivas. Open to discuss. Hello.
Sir,
Sir, anybody can ask the question, sir.
sir,
Open.
sir, Jai Bhim to
Jai
everybody.
Bhim, sir. Jai Bhim.
Yes, yeah.
Sir, please say your name,
Professor,
sir. आपका नाम बताइए.
yes, I'm engineer M.R. Dhroj from Himachal Pradesh, sir.
Please, please.
Professor Vatla
Sir.
has explained so many things very clearly and effectively, and I'm very much thankful to him. And I say, sir, India has not created, you see, educated, skilled human capital. India always promoted large scale industries and not paid special attention towards micro, small scale, or village level industries. Especially, that is why the marginalized communities in the entire country, especially who are living in the villages, couldn't reach the equal economic status. Not only this, they do not have equal distribution of land. What to speak, they are still uh, landless, not this having the higher education, resulting which they are still living in the precarious living conditions. Caste system remained and still there, the hindrance for equality in socio-economic program. Sir, my question is that what to do for equal distribution of land, where land is available in abundance in India, and the second is how to create giant human skilled capital like China or Western Eastern Asia countries, they have progressed to create the giant human skilled capital to the village level even. How to bring the marginalized communities in the capitalist list, and is it possible to create village level this micro industries to help the poor villagers? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Sir, first I would like to speak on small and micro enterprises. In fact, you are rightly pointed out that earlier the small scale sectors, small scale industries in India consists of village industries, artisan units, and khadi village industries. Right. In 2006, Government of India notified and made an act of all these as micro, small, medium enterprises. This MSMEs, particularly, if you try to see the data, all are nature of micro. 94% of industries in MSME sector is micro in nature. That means only less than 5 crore. Number one. Number two, majority of the ownership is self-owned. So there is no public limited. There is no medium enterprises, only small and micro. Because of this, what is happening? The kind of Dalit, what we want, Dalit entrepreneurship. Dalit entrepreneurship is very minimal, just 13%.
Right.
Very recently, we have done a study in Andhra Pradesh when Andhra Pradesh was united, MSME sector and its inclusiveness. In that, we could see nearly 13% of the SC/ST entrepreneurs are there, presence are there. Only their presence in only some selected product lines. Selected product lines. What are those selected product lines? Repairing, small dyeing, small pressing shops, beauty parlor industry, and that kind of. Their presence is not there in manufacturing units like big one. That is very biggest problem in MSME sector, sir. So that's why what I've been writing to the government as well as in my reports also, there's a need for Dalit bank.
Yeah.
See, there are so many progressive entrepreneurs in our country. particularly SC/ST community.
yes.
Even I've been telling to my students that if you start a hotel by naming Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Hotel,
Right,
no
right.
one would come. If you start a
Problem will
hotel, if you start a hotel with Arya Vaishya Bhojana Hotel or
Right.
Brahmin Bhojana Hotel, people would come. Even the person who is very poor, he doesn't want to have food in the hotel where our people started.
Really, really, sir. Exactly, it is there.
That means, see, somewhere the kind of this kind of discrimination practice and so on. That's why there's a need to reserve some of the products for SCST entrepreneurs. Number one. Number two, Dalit Bank. Number three, there is one district industry center in our country. This district industry center is supposed to organize 15 days program for progressive entrepreneurs to bring
That's right.
entrepreneurship abilities. What kind of and enterprise start, what kind of industry you need to start, what kind of proposal you need to start, how to submit the proposal to the bank for loan, all these things. But unfortunately, DAC is not helpful to our people. That's the biggest challenge in the case of MSME, sir. Another one is with regard to you are talking about human skill capital, that is village
Yes.
capital. That's what
Yes.
there's a program called Jukali in Sri Lanka.
Right, sir.
Jukali means under hot sun. That's this human capital, skill capital. The in agriculture sector, since land distribution is very much skewed, there's a need for cooperative farming. Then only at least some kind of agriculture development can be happen. Very recently, people are trying to speak about precision farming.
Right, sir.
Precision farming, and people are speaking about these days. Earlier, when we were school days, when we were school children, if there is 1 acre of land, when there is a crop season, 40 people, 50 people used to go to the land, and harvesting season where they used to get work. 40 people per acre. Now there is no need of 40 people. 1 hour may it will be done. Whole crop is done in 1 hour. So
Due to machinery.
because of mechanization, what
Yes,
is
yes.
happening? Majority of the people becoming unemployed. That is, they are all from SC/ST community.
Yes, yes.
This is the issue, sir. The cooperative farming may be one of the solutions for this thing, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Dhanyavad, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Okay, sir. Srinivas Garu.
Sir.
Thank you. Thank you. We can wind up. I think it's a very wonderful, in a very, 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 very short notice. Not short notice, it's any notice. I think thank you very much. And
But,
once again, apologize to you
no, sir.
for
No, sir. We
the
need.
inconvenience.
No, sir. No,
I
sir.
think it's a very wonderful thing. There's so many people asking in things also. Some friend asking your PPT. I
Oh,
think
I'll
PPT,
send, sir. I'll send, sir.
YouTube.
Even I can see Arun Koteji. He has been writing very good on things. Yeah. Yeah.
We are putting all the lectures in YouTube. Another thing, Srinivas Garu,
Sir.
you have to be block your date 26 January 2026.
Sir.
We are all, whoever they gave a lecture
Sir.
in this series, we
Sir.
are congregation in Hyderabad.
Oh, great.
75 people.
Oh, great, great.
Just 75 people, scholars, not people, scholars. The scholars galaxy.
Galaxy.
Scholars galaxy will assemble in Hyderabad.
Oh,
I think another request you to have a please send your this presentation also. We are going to a publication.
okay.
75 lectures we will publish it in
Sir.
book form and audio form and video form.
Oh, great.
You know, this is the things in future. I think thank you very much to
Thank
all
you, sir.
whoever attended this lecture. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.